friend, welcome to our video on the top Canva tips and tricks 2020 edition. I'm Tasha from Lady Boss Studio, and I just want to remind you that this video is brought to you by our Instant Brand Blueprint. For $27, you can have 46 Canva logo templates plus our entire branding system so you can create the brand of your dreams. Please also don't forget to show some love and subscribe below. Let's get into those tips. So let's talk about that lock feature. Now, there may be times where you've got a relatively complex document and you've got images layered behind each other, and you may want to sort of lock some background images so that way when you're trying to edit the text or move other things around, they're not being moved as well. For example, I have this rectangular shape here that's in the background that's sort of forming a color block, and then I've got the border here in that turquoise color. So I may want to freeze frame those, maybe even along with this image, so then I can select everything else, move that around, and I know that those things are going to stay where they're supposed to. So let's go ahead and you can drag your mouse over and you can select all three of them. Alternatively, you could click them one by one, which is a little bit more tedious. So I tend to always click and drag my mouse over and go up here to the top right hand side and select lock. That will make it so then you can select everything else on your artboard and you can move it around, but the items that you've locked will stay where you had them. Now, the only thing is when you do need to unlock those elements, you will need to select them one by one. So if you've got a really complex design with a whole bunch of little itty bitty items in it, you may not want to use a lock feature, because if you ever have to move them around, you're going to have to select every single little individual one to be able to unlock those. So it's a little bit better with slightly larger items, but you'll just select each one of them and go and select the unlock button so you can access those again. Now, this next tip is all about using layers in Canva. Now, technically, there is no layers panel in Canva, but there are still layers. So let's talk about that for a second. If you were to use our Modern Gold ebook templates, and you can see there's quite a few borders, quite a few things going on, you may try to click on this text and it seems as though it's locked, it's unavailable, there's no way for me to click and edit this text. But you will notice when I'm trying to click on the text, the little thin white border is what's highlighting, because technically it's on the layer in front of the text. So there are a few ways that we can go about accessing something that's hidden behind something else, even when you may not know that it is, because it's something that seems to be sort of see-through or invisible in the middle, like this border. Once you've selected the element, go over to the position tool up here on the right-hand side, and you can position that backwards. You could send it all the way to the back, which we don't want to do because then it would be in the back of the design. Or you could send it backwards until you were behind. I'm just going to keep selecting it until I can see that it's gone behind. Look, it's all the way at the back. It can't go any further back. So I'm going to move that forward. And I'm just going to see, can I click my text? Some of my text is clickable. But not all of it is. So I'm going to send it backwards 2 more times. Let's see. We can send it back. Ooh. And now you can see that all of our text is clickable. Our border is still visible. Now, another thing that you can do, which I find to be much easier than trying to figure out where exactly it's moving on the, invisible layers panel. I'm going to move this back to the front. Now, again, I can't select my text, but if you hold down Control on your keyboard, which would be Command on a Mac, and you click, it will allow you to select elements that are behind others. So once I've selected that text, I would just go Position to Front. I would do the same thing here, hold my Control key down, click on Ebook, it selected it, Position to Front, and then do the exact same thing with this bottom call to action and move that to the front. The last thing I could do is just this little gold border here. And again, move that to the front. So then all of my items are now editable. I can access them. That border is obviously still showing up. It's just now layered behind that text. Same thing happens if I were to add maybe an image to this, which in this case doesn't make any sense, but you'll see exactly how this is working. So position, I can go to the back. I can move it forward. And you're going to see it moving in front of certain items, and it's going to move now in front of all of the text one by one. The other thing, again, if I wanted to select this text, If I hold the Control key and I select right there, it's going to go and select the text behind it. So please do remember that, super important. Although you don't have a layers panel, there are still sort of a sequential order to layers or how things are appearing in your document, so don't get stuck there. Let's talk about the Canva Brand Kit. So over here on your Canva dashboard, you're going to notice on the left, you've got Brand Kit. So let's select that. Now with the free version of Canva, you have a couple options here. With the Pro version, obviously then you'll have all of the options. So over here, probably most importantly, are the brand colors. You can select up to 3 brand colors in this area here. So when you hit the plus key, it'll automatically show up. You could add a hex code if you already had your brand colors figured out, or if you were still in that process, you could definitely come in here and select 3 colors that worked for you. So let's just add some colors in here. We're not going to be too picky. All right, we'll just go with those. Just move this down a little bit. Okay, perfect. So you can add your 3 colors. If you were to try to add a 4th, because you're in the free version, it would automatically ask you to do the free trial for 30 days for Canva Pro. You can still select fonts here, so you can select whatever font you want within Canva for your heading style. So anytime you added a heading, it would be automatically in that font. You could select the size as well. If you wanted to upload your own custom fonts, maybe you purchased a premium font from Creative Market, you would need Canva Pro for that, and you could do so right here. And with Canva Pro as well, you would be able to actually upload your own logos here, which would make it really easy for you to go ahead and add those to any of the marketing materials that you're creating. So your brand kit's here. Once you've added your color palette, if you were to go and create a design, just pretend we're going to create an Instagram post. If I went ahead and added some text, we'll just select this just to show you. If I selected one of the text options, went over here to the color palette, you'll notice that my brand colors are here now. The other thing within Canva Pro is that you'd have the ability to add multiple color palettes. So if you're doing client projects, or maybe you were managing more than one brand at a time, you could have different palettes here to make it really nice and easy for you to select the right colors depending on which businesses, marketing materials you are working on. So definitely a huge time saver here. This next little Canva tip is a teeny tiny one, but it can have a major impact. If you're trying to work on a document like an ebook, or maybe it's an e-course and you've got an entire slide deck that has so many slides, it can be really easy to get overwhelmed and really unsure on how to organize and maintain your content. Down here on the right-hand side is what's called the Page Manager. So this allows you to get a bird's eye view of your entire document, manage it, and you can also move things around, duplicate, so on and so forth. Now, it may not seem so bad for a 20-page ebook, but if we were to go ahead and move on to our e-course slides, which actually have 50 templates, this can get really overwhelming for you to manage your content. So this is how easy it is to move around the content when it comes to using the Page Manager. You can take any one of your pages and you can move it anywhere else, which is amazing. You can also duplicate any of your pages if you wanted to go ahead and duplicate that to add different content. You can also delete slides, which is convenient. And then once you're done moving things around, you can see that everything's in the right spot. All you need to do to get back into that single page is just double click on it and it'll bring you right there. It's so much more convenient, saves you so much time versus constantly scrolling through your document, trying to remember where you were, where you're at, and find what you're looking for. This next one, I must say, is pretty darn cool. Let's just pretend we are going to create a logo. Let's just go to create a design. We're just going to pick an Instagram post size just to keep things simple. Now, let's say you were really looking forward to having a logo with maybe a triangle element of some sort. We can go to Elements, we can type in triangle. Let's select this one here because it's free, and we'll make it one of our brand colors. Now, let's say we wanted to add some text. We're going to add a heading. Center this, and so your business name. And let's go ahead and change this to one of your brand colors. Now, let's say you wanted this to be sort of with this triangle background. It's going to make it a little bit difficult here. Although you're sort of still getting the concept, it's not looking that great because your text is just in front of that triangle and they're kind of interfering or competing for attention. So what you can actually do, which not a lot of people know about, is you can double click on this element. And you're going to notice that there's a different sort of border that comes around. This allows you to chop and only take certain parts of that element if you'd like. So what we're going to do is we're only going to take the top, maybe 1/3 of the triangle. And we're going to hit done. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to bring it down. And I'm going to double click on it again. This time, I just want to take the bottom third of it. So let's go about here. And now I can move this up. And now, instead of the two competing, you're really getting that idea of the business name and the triangle becoming one. Obviously, you would want to change the font and the colors and all that's not so cute, but the idea is there. And you can essentially do that with almost every single element in Canva's library. So now let's have a quick chat about hyperlinks. These are great if you're creating any type of lead magnet or PDF or ebook and you want your subscribers or buyers to be able to click on a link and end up in a specific destination online. So in this case here, these are our rose gold ebook templates. You could click on your website here. Obviously, you would want to change the text so that it actually was your website. But once you were done and this had your website here, you could go up to link, which is this option right here, and you could type in the link that you wanted them to go to. So I'll just type in ladybossstudio.com and apply that. So now when I go ahead and download this as a PDF, if I download it as an image, it's not going to work. It would need to be as a PDF. And then I provide this PDF to somebody, they'll be able to click on this link, which would then land them on my website. The only thing with hyperlinks that can be a little bit tricky is that you can't only select one part of a text within a text box to be hyperlinked. The entire text box will be linked. So you couldn't just have this one little area where somebody's selected. Even if I highlight this, if I go over to hyperlink, it's going to hyperlink the entire box. So what you would need to do is have a separate text box specifically for those couple words of text that you wanted only to be linking over to something else. So just keep that in mind when you're creating those hyperlinks. You would want to separate any of the text that you wanted to be specifically hyperlinked. Hope this helps. This next Canva tip is a major time saver and probably my favorite in all of Canva because I can't tell you how much I use it. Say, for example, we have our Pinterest template. So whether you purchase templates from somebody else, created your own, no matter what the case is, chances are you're going to be using the same sort of standard design over and over. You might be doing that as well for, Instagram, whatever the case may be. For us, we also use this a lot for our Canva instruction PDF. So it's the same template every single time. There's just one or two little tweaks we have to make, like the different Canva links each time we go ahead and save one. So this is where saving something as a template in Canva Pro comes into play. Once you've narrowed down your design and you love the way your standard templates look, up at the top right hand side under Publish, you can go to Show More and scroll down until you see Template. Again, this is only available for Canva Pro users. You can then select a specific folder that you want that to sort of live in. So we have a folder already labeled. It's our Lady Boss brand templates. Is where we keep all of our brand templates. You can click on that right folder and hit select and then publish it. And then what you'll do is you'll close this one because you don't want to continue editing this one. Go back to your home page, you'll refresh, and you'll go down to LB brand templates. And you're going to see it's there. Obviously, we've got our design guides here as well, but you'll see here that it's there as a template. P.S. This is our shop Canva account as opposed to our marketing Canva account. So our marketing one is just like loaded and filled with templates. This one we keep nice and simple and organized because it's just for our shop templates. So now what you can do is anytime you want to access your templates, you can go ahead and click on this, and it's going to say you can use it as a template or you can edit the original. You typically won't edit the original, you almost always use this template. So once you do that, you can make as many changes to this as you want. It won't affect this one here. You can then always come back to your LB brand templates and create a new copy of this. Every single time it's going to make a copy. It's not going to edit the original unless you select Edit Original. So let me tell you how much this can be a game changer in your business. If you need to save time, especially right now, if you've got kids at home with you, this can be huge for you. So make sure you take advantage. So now let's talk about Canva's awesome Magic Resize feature. Again, this is only available for Pro. So let's say you've created your Pinterest image, you love it. You also now need one for Instagram stories. You also need one for Instagram, which would be square. And then you also maybe want to create one for a Facebook ad, which would be horizontal. Instead of going back to your homepage in Canva and creating a new design from scratch in whichever size you needed, the easiest way to do this is to go back into your design, go up to Resize, and then you can select the actual sizes that you need. And Canva has just come out with the ability to do more than one at once, which is amazing. So you can go down here to Instagram post. I can keep scrolling and find Instagram stories. I can also just type in Instagram at the top here. I can do Instagram story. And then I'm going to X this and I'm going to type in Facebook. I'm going to do a Facebook ad. And it's saying at the bottom, copy and resize 3. So I know that all 3 of those have been selected. Copy and resize. And all of a sudden, up here, I've got the actual size for square. So it's as simple as moving these around so they're covering the whole space. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to lock them like we talked about before. Make sure I've selected everything here. Drag this so it's larger and fits the space better. Boom, Instagram done. Now I'm going to move over to Instagram stories. I'm going to slide this up and down. Make this larger here. Again, click and drag, select them both, lock them, then click and drag to select the entire text box. I can go as big or as small as I want here, depending on what the image in the background is. Bring that right to the middle. We're good. Instagram stories, done. Go over here and we want our Facebook ad. Now, obviously, when it comes to Facebook ads, there's a lot more to it in terms of like allowable text and all that good stuff. But this is just to show you how quickly you can magic resize everything. And once again, there's a theme here. Save yourself a ton of time in your business because marketing your business and designing your brand should not stress you out. And there you go. Facebook ad done. Within, what was that, maybe 45 seconds, we were able to take our original design and copy and resize that to 3 more different sizes, edit them, and we were ready to go. So Magic Resize, thumbs up, make sure you use it. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed our Canva tips and tricks video, and I really hope you'll subscribe below and that you'll also visit us at ladybossstudio.com. See you soon.